Hey, friends. Well, it's Monday. Just had my lesson with Madeline. Maybe the most mind-blowing one yet, if that's possible. I keep saying that. So I'm working on the Chopin Etude number 4. It's an incredibly fiery piece. And there's so many elements of this that I want to integrate. And it's going to take me way more than one post and potentially quite some time. But I was playing. I played the piece and it felt good as I played it, even though it was mildly out of control. And then we were talking about the elemental nature of it as being a very fiery piece. It's a piece that's full of fire. And I mean, there's even a section at the end where it says con più fuoco possibile, with as much fire as possible. And there's a section in the beginning where the left hand plays a figure that kind of mirrors the right hand. And it's tricky. It's a reach. Your hand is reaching and then holding a note and then playing two other notes and then it's not a reach. It's a spring or a bounce off that low note, but the notes are spread out across the keyboard. So there's movement required. And super fiery forte section. And Madeline pointed out that the notes have to be you can only play one note with that much fire. If you try and play all the notes with that much fire, you simply won't achieve the effect, because fire needs air. And I was like, whoa, how unbelievably accurate a metaphor, an elemental understanding of this. Not even a metaphor. It's an energetic reality. It's like the laws of physics. You put too much wood on the fire, you smother it. It needs air. And that image came back any number of times throughout the piece. And at some point, she lensed in on the kind of heart of things in talking about the overall energy of the piece and the nature of it and the way that it suits my temperament. And she said, in Buddhism, there's something that we call compassionate wrath. And because the energy of anger, as we all know, can be very destructive. Fire energy can be very destructive, as New Mexico has learned again and again and again over its history, and especially recently with the largest fire in our history raging across the state. But there's also a form of fire energy that is absolutely vital for the world. It's absolutely indispensable to human progress. It's the energy that says we I assert this energy in service. A lot of times, compassionate wrath as a phrase, it was like one of those moments where you like tap a substance in just the right way and the whole thing crystallizes, and it's like or you insert one drop of something into a substance and the whole substance changes, the whole structure becomes clear. Because compassionate wrath just crystallized so much of my experience and gave structure to a kind of intuitive sense of the importance of a certain kind of energy. And it's an energy that our culture right now desperately needs. And I think there's a fair amount of fear around it. I think there's a fair amount of resistance around it, because we are in some ways conditioned to perceive this type of energy as dangerous. It feels threatening. It feels like it has the potential to incinerate us and incinerate others, which it does. One of the things that I'm learning from these lessons is that this energy I've had in me my entire life. It's been a form of hot, fiery energy that's dying to express, it's dying to create, to enter the world. I see it in Elise. Elise, she'll do this thing where her whole body just, it's like she becomes this ball of fiery energy, and it's usually when she's angry about something. And I'm like, ooh, I know you, my love. I know that. And Katie's like, she gets that from you. And I'm like, yes, she gets that from me. But what I'm learning from these lessons with Madeline, I had the experience, I might have even mentioned it on a post, where I felt that energy I had done a bunch of really good technical work on a section of the piece. And then I played that section of the piece. And I felt that energy entering and beginning to play the music and beginning to just burst through the music. And I noted, and then as soon as when I finished, it was the finale of the piece. So when I finished, this voice in my head said, "This is what I'm here to express." And I recognized, I've simply never had the technical capacity to channel this energy. It's been something that has run me ragged for most of my life. And I've, at various points in my life, either been totally kind of like embroiled in it and sort of like it has created chaos in my life. Or there have been periods of my life where I really tamped down on it and I really kind of avoided it. I suppressed it and repressed it and did all kinds of practices to kind of like simmer it down, because I didn't really know how to withstand it. And some of that was healthy technique. Some of that was healthy connection with myself and allowing the energy to have channels to flow within, but not explode me. And some of it was, I would say, less healthy and a kind of like either avoidance of reckoning with it or a kind of trying to pretend like it's not there and act from a different energy, but all the while it's kind of sitting there going, I know I'm here, you know I'm here, you know, you're gonna have to deal with me. And what I feel like I'm finally garnering is some degree of understanding of how to build the technique on piano to allow that energy to flow and keep it channeled into the music. In some ways, that's more, it's more than just learning something on piano. I'm learning how to channel that energy into expression, into musical expression, in a way that gives it an outlet in my life, that lets me carry it and express it and use it helpfully. And there are other ways as well. There's political action. There's engaging with the issues that we have to solve as a culture and as a planet. Compassionate wrath. But I'm just unspeakably grateful to be finding a way of holding this and knowing that fiery energy, knowing that burning core of what I have to give doesn't have to be destructive, that it can be put in service of the world, put in service of other people, and be a genuinely necessary, helpful, vital energy in creating a better world. Thanks for watching. Much love. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.